And we
Well,
are live.
guys, we are back to the Break Even podcast. We've been gone for a while. We have been doing a couple of shoots and we have decided to do it all over again. So this is the intro video. These are your hosts. I'm Sagnek. This is Rohan, just bringing you guys back. A quick speeder with what's going on in our life. We know you don't care, but it's important as we keep going on into the podcast. I have just finished up my college. Rohan is still, well, I haven't technically graduated yet. I still have a work year. Rohan is still in college, struggling. He probably won't graduate, but that's where things are. And yeah, I think we're good to go with our first introduction topic now.
Wait,
Rohan,
before we begin, why don't you go ahead and tell them why we named this the Break Even Podcast? Although we have done this in our previous introduction episode.
right? Yeah, all right. So break even, right? So I did economics in my college, right? So break even is a
Shit, Sherlock. Fucking congrats. Everyone's done it. Continue.
is broke with no money in
Yeah,
his
yeah,
bank.
yeah. Shut the
Man
fuck up.
pretends
Listen,
to
listen,
have,
listen. We got a record. Let's not deviate.
bro, you're unemployed. I don't want to hear
Shut
shit
the
from
fuck. Okay, let's continue.
any. Right. So with break even, it's just a concept where you're consuming as much as you are producing. I won't go into the technicalities of it. So that's kind of what we want to follow with this podcast as well. We want to give you just as much information as you
And for a
require.
layman like me and yourself, the viewer, because you are a layman, mind you, breaking even is essentially where you end up with neither a profit nor a loss. So, our whole aim is to give you all of the facts, the pros and the cons, so that you can make an informed choice and fuck up your life. I mean, make your life into what you want it to be, right? You get that?
Yes. Yes. Also, is my fridge just looking dirty or is that just me?
No, that's just you're tripping.
Okay, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on. So, given that's the principle of the podcast, is there any topic that you would like to bring up that we can?
Before topics, I think it's also important to mention that our podcast is going to essentially have two segments. The break even podcast evenly broken into two, the censored and the uncensored. And now the uncensored is all going to be posted on Rumble, and we're going to have the same playlist essentially, or the same segments. And let me just pull up the segments that we have decided. Okay. So our first segment, which is the random guest segment, where we call on a random guest for around 30 to 60 minutes, and we essentially ask them about any topic that they would like to talk about. And we'll hear them out, we'll rebut them if we feel like we disagree. We'll have a conversation, an
The whole
argument,
point is to
hopefully.
have a discourse with people other than us, because Rohan and I do tend to get a bit too much in agreement sometimes. So yeah, let's leave room open for dialogue. We're rather open-minded, at least I am. Rohan's a bit stuck up on his whole red pill fad that's going on. I mean, look at this room. That kind of does it. He thinks he's one of those, red pill bros now. So as far as I'm considered, I'm a pretty open-minded person. So we'll sit down, have a conversation, see how things pan out, and yeah, right,
All
we
right.
move.
Okay. For the next segment, we have the break even analysis. This is where we actually sit down and completely break down topics that we think people need to know about, or that are important and that are 100% going to affect our life in one way or the other. Be it money, sports, fashion, you name it, we will talk about it. We will not hesitate to speak about absolutely anything and everything. And if there are certain rules and regulations that we cannot bypass in YouTube, we will absolutely be doing that in Rumble.
Yes, that. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of conversations require a certain level of treading on that censorship boundary.
Yeah.
So we'll go on to Rumble whenever there's a subject matter that is a little more controversial.
There's no payoff to the conversation if you don't get risky at some point, right?
Yeah,
The
of
whole
course.
point is pushing the boundary and seeing where it goes and where it actually, where the line fades. If you don't push the boundary, how are you going to know?
Yeah. So anyway, that's enough jibber jabber for now. Let's bring up a topic. Let's have a conversation towards it.
Okay. Wait, no, hold on. Like, we still have two more segments.
Wait, what happened to my coffee?
Who's the... Okay, I keep forgetting that we're not on
We also
Rumble.
have Val with us. I don't know if we have.
Yeah. Val is our very special guest host who's going to be popping in every other episode. dropping in his Chinese input, and
Yeah.
hopefully we get no Chinese output.
What
Okay,
the be?
listen. Okay, for our next segment, we have the red pill rant. Okay, I think that's pretty indicative by
Just
the
put on a
name.
pant and you can show up.
Oh my God, Val, have the decency. Okay, listen. Moving on. Then we have the actual gaming segments. Okay. We actually okay, so for those of you who don't know, me and Sharknik, and Val as well are like avid gamers. Particularly me and Sharknik, we go way back where we would obsess over single player games before gaming descended into the madness that it is today. I do admit there are some beautiful games that are out now, but back from the OG days. So we're gonna have a lot of gaming segments on as well, where we review games, play each other, get each other off in every sense of the word. Um, moving
Yeah,
on.
precisely what I had in mind. Sure. Anyway, what we'll do with our gaming segments, I think we'll also do a little bit of streaming jobs because I think I'm really good at COD and the world should be subjective.
Okay.
uh, I do implore
I don't know
everyone to
who's
once
worse though.
again,
This guy.
please
Go
go
for it.
read the description of the podcast again. I do not lie when I say narcissist, and you all will learn throughout the course of this podcast.
Anyway, we'll move on to more poignant topics. Are you sure you want to talk about gaming as the intro episode? We could do a little bit.
That did provide to be a good segue. Okay, let's just go with it.
Oh, damn it.
All right, sure. If you're talking about games, you did say the current state of games. Elaborate on that. What do you mean by you had a negative connotation when you were speaking about the current state of the gaming industry? So,
Yeah.
what are your
Okay.
connotations
I'm
towards it?
certainly quite happy with hold on. I'm certainly quite happy with the new set of games that we've received this year.
I think it was
Spider-Man
an
2.
insane year for games, really.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. It definitely is. But when I say the state of games right now, what I mean is there are certain games that, were super big back in our childhood that just kind of completely fell off. And their replacements weren't that great either. Now let's talk about the obvious elephant in the room, right? Battlefield and COD. We all know the rivalry.
That rivalry is done.
It's done. That's what. And it's sad. It's sad because that rivalry was such a big, it created the competition. And after Battlefield, okay, Battlefield 3 was like beginning to peak, and then Battlefield 4 was the peak. Beautiful, absolute beautiful game.
I mean,
Shout
when
out
it
to the
comes to
Levolution scheme,
shooters,
man.
right?
Where did that go? Why did people just stop doing Levolutions?
Even Battlefield just did it once. I think it was not technically feasible to continue on with it. It didn't have as good a impact as I thought it would. Though I absolutely enjoyed it in Battlefield 4. It was a lot of fun. The
Yeah,
concept of evolution for us gamers out here, it was like a thing where as the game progresses, you could do certain tasks in a map and it would completely transform the gameplay mechanics of said map.
yeah,
Like biggest one that comes to mind, there was this map in Battlefield 4 called Siege of Shanghai, where there's this building, yeah. And if you bring it's a huge skyscraper, and if you can break down enough towers with tanks or explosives and whatever, the whole thing falls
yeah. The
and
whole building collapses, and it just changes the whole map.
yeah, it creates like this different sniper perch points, which is very difficult for anyone to reach. And you get a better recon zone, so it becomes a more snipey map after you do the evolution for it. So yeah, that was evolution. It was a lot of fun because you get effectively two maps, two play styles in one map. So yeah, but I think they had to get rid of it because as far as I remember, there was some technical issues with it, and it didn't do as well as they would have liked. So
I mean, I
yeah,
think we all had a lot of fun with the Levolution system. But then again, okay, coming back to the so-called competition, right? COD was good up until when? Tell me.
That's a difficult question. I think the last,
Precisely why I posed it.
I would say the last good Call of Duty I played was, I mean, I did enjoy MW's multiplayer,
Okay.
but
Yeah, I agree.
that wasn't the new MW, the 2019 is the one we're talking about. But for that, I don't think that is indicative of what a COD game was supposed to be, at least for us growing up, right? Like, is this going to be your MW2 is just going to be your Black Ops 3. I don't think so. Like as a package, it was a lot more diluted down into individualistic segments. But yeah, if you just consider multiplayer, if you think COD is just a multiplayer shooter, then yeah, sure, it wasn't that bad. But then if you're asking me what was the last good COD package, I don't know why, man. The last game I can think of really was Black Ops 3. It might be nostalgia speaking, but yeah, Black Ops 3.
No, Black Ops 3 was definitely one of the
See,
good ones, especially for the multiplayer.
Like another thing that made Call of Duty good was the campaign.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And-
saying. Like
and
the
the
whole
Yeah,
pack-
the campaign fell off. The campaign fell off.
Down the most.
yeah, yeah.
Like if
To
you
be
get it
to
down, it's so
Yeah.
whatever, man.
to be fair, Call of Duty was synonymous with FPS campaign, and Battlefield was synonymous with FPS multiplayer. But then now,
Actually, that's
Battlefield,
a lot.
yeah,
Yeah,
Battlefield now has just fallen off the map
The biggest thing
completely.
cut down so much on the campaign, and they started doing money grabs, skins, bundles, and then they hop
Yeah,
on
I
Battle
mean,
Royale.
pay to win, man. I think that was not pay to win, but the loot crate system.
Yeah,
That's that's a bit of a pain in the ass. I don't think that's.
I think they also kind of saw what Fortnite did with skins,
Yeah.
how much money they were making, all the microtransactions.
You
That
see,
being
but
said,
like
campaign has
COD teetered on the line of like pay to win a little bit more than Fortnite did.
yeah.
Because everything was generally available and the skins were strictly cosmetic.
Yeah,
Now you
strictly
could say
cosmetic.
COD is also strictly cosmetic. Well, here's where I digress. I don't think it is. Because see, when a new gun comes out or any new gameplay addition gets made,
They have like a bundle for
there's
it.
a bundle
And
for
you
it.
have to buy
And
it.
you know that bundle
Yeah.
is going to be the meta loadout, the best loadout for that gun in about a week from now.
Mhm.
So if you buy it, you get it straight off, right? And if you don't buy it, you have to grind hours into the game just to,
Yeah,
see the same results. So yeah, it is a little cash grabby, pay to winning.
I think what really did it for me is just new MW3. Apparently, it was only developed for 16 months. It was supposed to be like an expansion pack.
You see the new.
It was supposed to be an expansion
Yeah.
pack for the
The
current.
difference is essentially minimal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's
It's
what
the same game. It's the same game, just a
Expansion
little bit
pack.
better.
Yeah, but I think games like at least the big franchises, that's what you've gone down. Like that's what you've come down to now. All
Yeah.
the new games that are coming out are just a reskin. Like you talk about FIFA, every game that has a yearly release plan
FIFA has
is
FIFA has been dead for ages.
yeah,
been
it's
dead
just
since 17,
it's just
bro.
basically a reskin of the game before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I feel like
if-
multiplayer games have had very little development in the recent few years, and single player has definitely come a very long way. Like Spider-Man 2. I've been really waiting for a new Uncharted game. The series is so good, man, and it's so sad to see the fact that they're taking so long.
But then I
to
feel like
complete
with series like Uncharted, we just said that multiplayer games are with these yearly releases are getting the corporate treatment, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just franchising, you're trying to milk as
yeah,
much.
but we can't neglect one entire side of the relationship.
I
mean,
think
of the
I know I
gaming.
agree, but I think with Uncharted, that series has run its course. Like the only way you can make a new Uncharted game is with new characters. What more can you do with Nathan Drake?
No, that's precisely what I'm saying,
No.
right? That Nathan
Yeah,
Drake's
but then I
Nathan
think-
Drake has a daughter at the end of Uncharted 4 Thief's End. She can
Yeah,
continue the
so-
legacy. Then
so
there
yeah,
was
with
the
completely new
Lost Legacy,
characters,
where
yeah.
they go through the whole, treasure hunt. Chloe and what's her name, Nadine.
Nadine, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was pretty interesting, and I think they can definitely continue the series without Nathan Drake and introducing
They
new
did do a
characters.
DLC of it, right?
That was the DLC. That was the no, that was no, that wasn't the DLC. That was a standoff game, like a spin-off standoff. Yeah.
Oh,
They definitely that definitely was not a DLC.
for Thief's End was the last one I played.
Thief's End was the last one and was a beautiful one at that.
Yeah. So yeah, with I think games as a service now has also started to come up. You see the disaster shit show that was the Avengers game when they did the whole.
Oh
game
my
with-
god, Avengers, Gotham Knights. Oh, they were all
But like
disgusting.
the Avengers game was.
He actually played the.
But like the thing is, like
I played a little bit.
I played it just to see how good it would be, not necessarily assuming it was good. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't like a proper studio doing it. It was Crystal Dynamics.
It was Square Enix, Crystal Dynamics. It was a
Crystal
group
Dynamics was
project.
only good when they did graphics for I don't remember which game.
Yeah,
they
but
did
then you
graphics
have
for, like,
they had Square Enix.
yeah, but the thing
Sleeping
is-
Dog, bro. That's still one of the best games I've
Yeah,
ever
but the
played.
thing
Yeah,
is,
Sleeping
like,
Dogs, yeah.
but the thing is, if you looked at the game, right, the story was actually fine. There was obviously a lot of plot conveniences, obviously, right? But then it wasn't
I think
like,
what
it's
led it
actually a
down
very
was-
interesting.
I don't
story.
think the gameplay was good enough to keep you hooked onto the
I think the
COD.
gameplay was absolutely awful.
Yeah.
It was the same
Yeah, yeah,
reskin
yeah.
mission after mission after mission.
No, the
So
thing
it
is,
was
like,
just
it wasn't about the plot of the campaign. That's not what fucked them. What fucked them was lackluster gameplay. It was stuck between so many elements of so many different games. You had like a gear system, and then you were trying to make combat fluid, but then it wasn't fluid, and then it's kind of like trying to be Batman, but then not really. And then you kind of get this thing of like a lot of things put together, and none of the pieces ever worked out. They were almost doing too much for a game that didn't need to have so many things in it. Like, you don't
Yeah.
need a loot system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty fair. Also, on the topic of gaming, I would like to give a quick shout out. So I really like platformer games just because they're really not that time consuming and they're super fun to play, right?
just
And
mindless. Yeah.
yeah, just mindless fun. And I've been recently playing this game called
Stray.
Inscription.
Stray is fun.
Listen, shut the fuck up. Listen. I've
Yeah,
been
go.
playing this game called Inscription, okay? And it's a fucking amazing game, right? And what it's about is basically it's kind of like this card game, but it's a card game that's based in this horror setting, and it's super creepy and it's super fun and it's super strategic. And I think anyone who plays it will have so much fun. It's because it's so retro and that it has like little hidden elements to it. Like you think that the game ends right but when you reach the final boss, but then you realize that it's actually just the first act of the game, and they really make it seem like the game's about to end, and they convince you that. And the next act starts by pressing new game because they make you believe you finished the game. So that's really like fucking fascinating and funny.
It's rated very highly on Steam as well. I might get to it.
You know
Yeah,
what's
it's rated very highly. That's true. It's
like
super
an
fun.
interesting thing that we see here is that all the single player games with good campaign is the ones that's doing well.
Yeah, if you think about the best
Not the
sellers,
multiplayers.
yeah,
Like not the FIFAs, not the 2Ks, not the Madden,
Oh,
not
yeah.
the COD, not the Battlefield, not the Fortnite. There's not these multiplayer cash grabs.
yeah, but then
All-
see, it's the concept of a one-time payment as opposed to a continuous payment, which is what we like. Payment over time is what we fail to
That's
realize.
Warzone, right?
If you talk about Warzone and all these subscription models when it comes to gaming, right? You have to understand, yeah, they're not making a lot of money straight off, but Fortnite's still making money. When did Fortnite come out? 2018, I think, right?
no, they came out like way early.
Yeah, but still, they've been making money.
So
So
they're still making
for
money. But, like,
whatever.
what I'm saying, like as a game, we go back to what we were saying. Like when was the last time Call of Duty was good? When the campaign was good. When,
Yeah.
When the single player was good.
But then, like, see, if they're continuously still doing it, it means it's making them money. No,
Yeah,
like,
but
they
it
wouldn't.
wasn't the game.
Bro, and your video just went off, and you got.
Give me a second. I'm
Okay,
right
right.
here.
It wasn't
Carry the
it wasn't the game that was good. It was the microtransactions, the skins, the boxes, the loots, like the character models. That's what making them money. It wasn't the game. Like that's why I'm saying they will push out a like game with the Call of Duty title slapped on it. They know everyone's gonna buy it, or a healthy amount of people buy it. And what's gonna make them all the money is when all these people, like the YouTubers, the streamers, us, living for the good old days or whatever, buy those skins. And that's where they get all the most money. And that's also the reason why they fail as a game. Like MW3 has failed as a game as well. Because it was supposed to be an expansion pack for us, like for the MW2 guys.
Yeah,
But
I
then-
think the latest Black Ops game has failed the series, Cold War, and I think the latest Modern Warfare game has failed the series, and I think COD is nearly dead.
Do you think it's killed the series, both of them?
I don't think
Yeah.
it's killed it just because Warzone is somewhat keeping the COD hype alive, and I'm happy for that.
No, I mean,
I do want COD to
do you
improve
think
because
that-
because
that-
the MW3, it came out that 16 months ago. Like it was only developed for 16 months, and they said they were going to release it as expansion pack. But then
They said it was going to be like a Miles Morales kind of thing.
like
where
it's basically just an expansion pack that you just
Yeah.
download. But then like
and it was
like the-
supposed to be like half the price, like how Miles Morales was. It was half the price
and
of
then,
base
and then there was
Spider-Man.
then there was like corporate things happening, and then they were like holding
Getting
off. They
pretty
couldn't
good.
decide like
yeah, with the whole merger as well that happened.
they couldn't decide if they wanted it to be like an expansion or not. And that just proves to you the direction of the game.
Yeah.
That they're just doing it for the money. Because you
Yeah.
release a new title, you earn more money. But then there's not actually a new title. And that's why I say it's dead, because time and time again they have proven that they haven't actually done anything good for the game.
Yeah.
Like when there was glitches all over the game with the gas mask, with this and that, they never fixed it. But
Oh
when
yeah, the auto mantling and all the garbage.
yeah, but then when the store had issues and they couldn't process microtransactions, that was fixed in half an hour.
Yeah.
Bro, not just that.
And by the way, guys, for those of you who don't know, this is Val Shu or Val, the resident ching chong of the group.
He is a very insightful individual who presents very blue pill views. So that's a big yeah. You're like the oxymoron to Rohan in this podcast.
Let me see I'm very blue color.
We don't care. Move on. Right. So the point is, yeah.
Wait,
now that we're on the
did,
topic of
did someone say red pill? Someone say red pill? Did someone say red pill?
bro, you are so cringe, you know. Right. So I think bigger yet, like the COD issue. Let's sum it up like this, right? When Nick Marks tweeted about the whole LGBTQ thing that was going on in LA, if I'm not wrong, the riots that happened when they started beating up the parents for saying "not my kids," right? So Nick Merckx tweeted, "Leave the kids out of it," right? Nick Merckx being one of the biggest Call of Duty creators in history, right? They actually, him, Tim the Tatman, they were like the OGs who led to Zone's popularity during the lockdown. So now these two, they had their own skins in the game, right? It had just come out for like a week and a half.
Oh, they got
like
taken down, right?
Within 5 minutes of that tweet, bro. Like it was like bang, instantly taken. So anything store related, anything like that is fixed instantly.
Yeah, but then
you get canceled for trying to protect your own. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
It just shows you like how much corporate influence is in the game. Like you can also see like in other games like single player, like Spider-Man and stuff. When you actually just make a good game, it's fun.
No, tell me this. What the fuck does
like...
Rihanna have to know? Forget Rihanna. Nicki Minaj have to do with Call of Duty. Why the fuck is she in the game?
Why is 21 Savage in the game?
Well, just like why Harry Kane.
Well, at least 21 Savage sings about guns. Okay, well, to be fair, she does as well. But like, come on, man. 21's gangster, man. Who the fuck is Nicki?
See, this is where I would say I detach from your argument, because give them both the same treatment. Right? If you're saying Nicki Minaj is out of place, so is 21 Savage.
I mean, fucking like.
Okay, fair to both.
Durant
fuck them both. Why are they both in court? Why are they both in court? Fuck that.
But the thing is, it was just a cash grab, because they make a lot of money because Call of Duty paid them to skin them.
Yeah.
And then Call of Duty makes money by selling the pack.
You want to know, if you want to put inclusive ideologies into the game, you want to be the whole inclusive bait that we see in the world right now, right? Make a good game first. You see the Spider-Man game, right? They have quite a lot of elements of inclusivity, right? They talk about the whole Miles' heritage as a Black Hispanic. They have a deaf character in it to try and someone with disability, shit like that.
They give MJ like gameplay as well.
Yeah, there's MJ gameplay, and I think they did it rather tastefully this time.
Right? This time it was actually bearable.
Yeah, so they did like a lot of these elements where you would sit down and be like, oh, this is inclusive or non-inclusive, but the whole point was the game in itself at its core was a good game to play.
Yeah.
So that's why we didn't sit there. Nothing broke immersion. Like playing that game for me wasn't like that's kind of weird. Like, oh, I don't want to see that, right? You look at the new Spider-Verse movies as well. They have a lot of inclusivity factors in them too. But it's a good movie, so no one has any issues with it.
Yeah.
But if you shoehorn them in with modern corporate Disney, with Activision now trying to be all chummy with the LGBT crowd, if the game in itself is not good, then these things stick out and they piss you off even more.
And the thing is, even if the game wasn't good, and even if you are like a huge like LGBT ally or whatever it is, even then they might not like a sane person who actually games and they were like actually into the game and not buying it because of the LGBTQ stuff. Even if he was into that kind of stuff, he would still be like, it's a shit game.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to pick up these brownie points from crowds who might not necessarily game,
Yeah.
I think it's making the gaming audience rather divisive. Like it's breaking people down into groups, and that's not what you want from.
It's just factionism at the end of the day now. It's just gonna become your side versus my side.
Yeah, and I can bet your ass with these corporates who are trying to sign up to this whole whatever is popular at that time. If they keep going down this route, I kid you not, if LGBTQ was not the popularity, was not the majority in this scenario, they would switch sides instantly.
Yeah, they would.
So it's how it is, man. Like you look at The Boys being another show that it's got There's gay characters in the show. There is bare awful things that they show in that show, right?
Like even in Gen V, like Jordan Lee is an Asian girl and a guy at the same time.
Yeah,
Her
yeah,
superpower is switching between two people.
Yeah, and they talk about gender in that too, but
Yeah.
it's very watchable.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a good show.
Like the plot in itself is solid. And that way
see, it's
fun.
very manageable and very understandable when they seamlessly weave it into the show. But when they
I
try
have
and
no issue
shove
with
it,
that.
when they try and shove it down your throat in a very uncalled for place, that's just when it gets annoying. The same way it would get annoying if you talk about, let's say you're watching The Boys and there's just continuous romance episode after episode. You'd get annoyed. You're like, I didn't watch The Boys for this. For the same reason that I get that it's a part and parcel of it. Sure. There's no issue if there's like gay characters, LGBTQ characters, mentions of it, talks about it. But when you just shove it down people's throats in every single show and you try and force it down, it just becomes very redundant and annoying. And you're making it not normal by doing that.
Exactly. Especially like if they shove it down your throat in a way that does
Yeah,
not
you're in
does not contribute to the plot, has nothing to do with the character.
I think it's also like what people don't realize. Don't you think it does a disservice to the whole subject matter in general?
Yeah,
like,
because you're not breaking the status quo.
Yeah, in fact, you're using it to milk money.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's a bigger, issue that if they had just mentioned it in context, if it was not talked about at all, that would have been better than trying to shoehorn it into every media that we consume right now. Yeah,
like The Boys is a very good example of where you can do it well. And I feel like a lot of shows and a lot of movies should follow that blueprint where you actually have a good plot, and when you have a good plot with good characters, all your side characters can flourish with it. Like,
you know what's one game I would pour a fuck ton of money into? A boys game.
Yeah.
Someone make a boys game.
Oh,
that'd be fucking.
yes.
But like you wouldn't be playing as Homeland.
You know what? Play out the whole show. Play out the whole show
The
again
wouldn't play
in a
as-
game. I do not mind that. Play out the whole show in a game again. I do not mind that.
Yeah.
That would be fun as fuck.
That would be a lot
With
of
the
fun.
original voice actors, that would be fucking beautiful.
Another important
Also,
thing.
on that note, guys, we are running out of time, unfortunately. And let us summarize this quick little episode. That is our official YouTube introduction, not the Rumble introduction, because that is going to be on Rumble. And it'll probably be live as soon as this video is live as well. Go ahead, Chaknik. Anything you'd like to end the episode with?
Yeah. I think that we talked about games. I'm gonna do a gaming conclusion and then go into, just as a podcast, what to expect in the following episodes. So yeah, moving on with this gaming conversation, I think what we can conclude is that gaming is not dead, right? We see a lot of new good single player games, and I think this year has been a banger for games just in general.
Absolutely.
But I think that
not
really-
just because of sheer
Not really.
quality, but the quantity of games we've received this year is absolutely amazing.
Good quantity and good quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I think-
that's what. Even though we've not received like the games we hoped for didn't probably receive Game of the Year, we got an amazing set of games this year.
Yeah, I think all I gotta say for people is that, like, I know a lot of gamers right now really sign up to the whole multiplayer side of things. Give yourself some time and play some of these story-driven games. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Some of the world's best games are out in single player. Go give it a try. It'll be fantastic. I think single player games are here to stay, and a lot of people were saying they're dying out. I completely disagree. And as for the podcast, moving on, we will, you kind of got the gist of what to expect. There's a very informal thing as well. So you'll have Val and whoever the fuck is at my place at that time, at Rohan's place at the time. Actually, there's going to be no one at Rohan's place. He's really lonely. But for us, there's going to be people.
Why?
There's going to be people over at my place every now and then. So you'll see people come over. That's, we're not really stuck up on how that goes. There's no real format to this, but we'll just speak on a topic, and we'll see how that goes from there. So
I think I'm glad this is YouTube, because I will save my comeback for what is this?
All right, cool. No one cares, buddy. Right. Moving
Rumble.
on, we'll see how it goes. So
What do you mean we'll see how it goes, guys? This is gonna be really good. That's all I'm gonna say.
I meant for sorting the topics. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what we talk about in the next episode. We're not
That's
too
fair.
sure about that
That's
yet.
fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So,
No, we're actually gonna go based on your guys' suggestions as well. We're not just gonna
yeah,
have
if you guys
we're
want
not
us
just
to-
gonna have blind debates. When we have a debate, what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually have a poll and see what you guys think. See who do you think had the more sensible argument.
Yeah.
Fucking ching chong, either pop in or pop out, my guy. Come on, pop in. It's the ending of the episode.
GTA 6 trailer coming next month.
yeah, that's
That's gonna be a good
it's happening in our lifetime,
Bro,
boys.
Rockstar, don't fail us, please.
Yeah.
Rockstar, don't fail us.
Yeah, you know when I'll quit gaming, Rohan? If GTA 6 is a bad game.
Yeah.
I
That's
think GTA 6 will be released when my sperm count is 0, which is 80.
So like tomorrow.
Fair. Fair.
He said
I
fail.
accept. I accept.
All right.
But
Also,
GTA
guys,
6, yeah, I doubt
yeah,
it's coming out.
well, let's round it off here then. We'll catch you guys next episode. It's been great doing this again. I'm Sagnik, that's Rohan. We will just leave Val as the Ching Chong Ling Long, right? And,
Listen, guys, I just have one sincere quote, and I want you guys to take this really seriously. And this is actually something that's really inspired me. Val, personally, I've learned this just because, to honor Val's homeland, and it goes something like this. 小烧烤生活，现在我有冰淇淋，我有冰淇淋。
Are you fucking serious?
All right, guys, we're ending it there before Val can have a comeback. Bye bye.